The Galaxy S4 to sport a 5-inch display. Microsoft Surface disappoint when it comes to sales, and Apple scales back their iPhone 5 production. I'm Jaime Rivera, definitely battling with a Las Vegas cold, and this is Pocketnow Daily. Samsung has just begun 2013 with their usual teasing, and this time with a slide presentation that shows us the screen resolutions and screen sizes of all their Galaxy S lineup. Now the interesting part is that this slide presentation does include a 4.99-inch, call that 5-inch, 1080p display device coming in Q1 2013. And Q1 2013 doesn't include May, that would be sometime probably at MWC. So hopefully we will see a Galaxy S4 being launched before expected. Now, speaking of the Galaxy S lineup, Samsung is now celebrating that they've sold their 100th millionth Galaxy S unit. That would mean that from the first Galaxy S device that was launched 3 years ago up to the current Galaxy S3, they've launched and sold 100 million units. And if you think of it, Apple celebrated that same number a couple of months after they launched the iPhone 4, which would mean 4 generations. And that could really mean a lot in the fact that, well, the iPhone is currently the most sold device in the world, but Samsung is really catching up. That's nice. Now, speaking of Apple and their iPhone 5, reports have the company scaling back production on the current generation iPhone 5 when it comes to manufacturing and also in orders of supplies. Could this be that the company isn't selling or having the same demand that they had originally? Well, usually that's the case, but it could also be so many other things. Now, if you think of it, the iPhone 5 as always has been Apple's most selling iPhone ever, as would happen with previous generation iPhones. But as we saw at CES 2013, everybody was carrying a Galaxy Note 2. And yes, I'm going to pull it out of my pocket because, yeah, that includes me. Now, speaking of low sales, reports have the Microsoft Surface falling short of expectations, and I guess that didn't only happen in the review arena. Microsoft was speculated to sell 2 million units by the end of 2012, and sadly they only sold 1 million units. Now, if you think of it though, Apple's first generation iPad barely reached 1 million units after 3 months in the market. So it could just be that this is not a bad number, but nobody that I know actually likes the Microsoft Surface. Unless you can tell me otherwise in the comments down below, obviously. And finally, for the whatever news of the day, Huawei has just proven to the world that they can sell a quad-core smartphone for cheap, which is the case of their new G520 smartphone that comes to certain markets for $225 a piece. And if you think of it, I mean, Huawei has tried so hard to surprise everybody. And as we saw at CES 2013, their devices looked good, but they didn't perform great at all. So that leads me to the question of the day. Even if it's this cheap, I mean, what do you think about Huawei and their strategy? In our particular case, we are disappointed that the company talks a lot about competition, but they don't really deliver, so leave us a comment down below. And if you want an earlier scoop of everything that's happening in the smartphone and tablet world, make sure you follow us on Pocketnow.com. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera, again apologizing for the cold. See you tomorrow.